And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live stream. I got a special guest real quick. Indy, he's saying hi. I just wanted to have him on here. Usually he has a little stream cameo, and we started the stream with it today. But it is Wednesday, January 29th. I've got a Dr. Pepper Zero in hand, ice cold, crispy. And we're hanging out at 6 on the dot. So we'll hang out for however long. I'll answer your questions, talk movies, shows, sports, food, whatever it may be. And let me check the audio levels. Hello. How do I sound? Let me know. And so far, so good in terms of Wi-Fi. I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm going to knock on some wood. But we are live. I have posted about it on Instagram. So I'll let some people pile in here. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Welcome in. Hope you're having a good week. I mean, let's talk your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Stranger Things, football, whatever you guys want to discuss. Let's do it. Let's get down to business. And again, hit that like button if you're in here. Helps out quite a bit if you're here live or on the replay. And Super Chat's the way to go to guarantee I get your question, comment, concern, because I won't be able to get to every single question in the stream, but I'll get to as many as I can. And Super Chatting them in is the way to guarantee that I can get to that. There's that little banner. Let me Dr. Pepper Zero it up real quick. Hold on. There we go. This is the way. Absolutely delicious. All right, let's just begin. So here we go. Let's do it. The first question says, have you... Oh, that's actually later in the chat. We got people saying hello. Hello there. Welcome. How do I think Cobra Kai won? This is actually from Bert. We have a character from the show making an appearance in the stream now. I believe that... I mean, I haven't been spoiled for Cobra Kai's ending, to my knowledge. I believe that we will see the birth of Johnny and Carmen's kid. They'll probably get married at some point, and I want to say Robbie is going to end up winning Sky Tai Kai, which all that feels predictable, so you never know. Maybe I need to take a step back and be like, whoa, they're going to actually switch something up. But that's kind of what I feel is going to happen. We'll have to see. But regarding, what relationships will break off or end up together forever, that's a little bit harder for me to read, specifically like Sam and Miguel. I don't know. Maybe they're, right person, wrong time in life, and they end up going onto the different paths. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I do think my prediction is the Sakai Taikai will wrap up in EPs 11 and 12, and then the EPs 13, 14, 15 will just deal with, back home at the Valley and kind of closing out characters. That's my early prediction there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I want to answer this real quick before I see we have a super chat, which thank you very much. Hey, Chris, did you like Joe's new song? I loved it. Yeah, loved it. I've listened to it, I'd say, since it came out 10 to 15 times fully. I mean, it's all over like TikTok when I scroll. Like my For You page is like Joe edits or just random edits to movies or shows using that song. But I'd say I've probably intentionally listened to it 10 to 15 times. I've learned most of the lyrics. It's very catchy, but it's my jam. Like that kind of music's my jam. I love Wallows, Joe, all of his albums. I'm excited for this new album, obviously. But yeah, Basic being basic, banger, in my opinion, as far as I am concerned. Isaiah's everything with the super chat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we got a television show question. This is the year of television for myself. So I'm here for the TV questions. Hey, man, love your content. Hope you're doing well. Same to you. I just finished watching all of The Sopranos for the first time. Are you a fan? So it's funny you ask this question. I've never seen the show. It's been on my TV watch list for quite some time now. I remember a couple of years back, my parents watched the show for the first time. And so I kind of talked about that with them as they were watching it. I've had a few buddies who've watched the show, and I've just never checked it out. I don't know any big spoilers, fortunately, but I might actually. She-Hulk might have ruined something for me, of all things, She-Hulk. Tried to kind of gaslight myself into thinking maybe that's not true. I don't know if it is, so don't tell me. But you don't even know what I'm talking about, actually, so I don't know why I'm acting like everyone does, unless you have seen She-Hulk. Anyway, topic for another time. It's on my watch list, and the reason I bring this up is because I put out a poll recently on Instagram and YouTube asking what show should I watch next, because I finished Succession. I finally watched it over the course of about 20-ish days, 3 weeks roughly. Binged through all of Succession, loved it. Before this stream for 30 minutes, actually, I was watching cast interviews. Like, that's how you know a show's really stuck with you, if you go watch like old cast interview on YouTube. I've been doing that in Succession. It's consumed me. And weirdly enough, my TikTok For You page is a bunch of Succession edits now. I swear, someone's listening out there somewhere, because I never, I just hadn't had Succession on my For You page in like a couple of years, because I did weirdly enough have it on my For You page when I wasn't watching the show, when the final season was actually airing. And so now it's like made this resurgence on my personal TikTok feed, which is bizarre because all I've done is watch the show. So there's some weird Big Brother thing going on. I don't know. Dr. Pepper Zero. All that to say, I put out a poll because I finished that show. And this list I have is of the most iconic shows that I haven't seen. So I've got Peaky Blinders, Dexter, and Sopranos on there. Those are the 3 shows I put on the poll. And on both YouTube and Instagram, Peaky Blinders won the poll. So it looks like that'll be the next show that I fire up soon. Now, it is worth noting that I am currently in the middle of Invincible. I rewatched season 1 for the first time in 3 to 4 years, I want to say. Watched the Adam Eve special, and I am on the 3rd episode of Invincible season 2. I will pick back up with that tonight. So I've been on my TV grind this year. This doesn't even include the fact that I watched all of Bridgerton season 3 over the course of 2 or 3 days last week as well. So I have only watched a couple movies this year, genuinely, because I've been so devoted to TV. So it's kind of like, that's the thing about TV. It's like you either are all in or you're not. You can't really half-ass it. So I've gone all in on TV, and I've made a dent on my TV watch list this year, but I have not been able to watch movies. But I kind of take a step back and I'm like, that's okay, because there's not much coming out that really, tickles me pink, if you will, in the month of January. So that I should be seeing the new Valentine's Day slasher soon, Hard Eyes. And then I want to watch Back in Action, the Netflix movie, but I haven't been dying to go see any movie on the big screen this month. Wolfman plans fell through day of. I had tickets to see that one, but Sopranos, to answer your question, it's on the TV watch list. Haven't seen it. I've seen, TikTok videos, but I'll scroll quick because I don't want to get spoiled. I know of the show. I don't know too much that happens, but from what I gather, it will be my thing. I have heard it's a bit of a slower start, and it is a long time commitment. The reason I'm a bit hesitant to fire it up is because I believe it's over 100 episodes. It's like 80 to 100 episodes. Succession was 39 eps. Peaky Blinders is 36 eps. Those are a lot more manageable. Doesn't feel as daunting. For me, I look at the episode count of a show, and if it's like 100 in that range, I get kind of cold feet, and I'm like, oh, that's a big commitment. So that's the reason I haven't watched it. So I can't say I'm a fan, but I bet I'd like it if I checked it out. We got a Craving mention. This is an inside joke, a constant reference in the live streams for those of you who are new here. Like, what is this? This is something that's always come up between Network 98 and myself. So hashtag the Craving. I don't even know. And then the Real JB with the super chat. Thank you so much. Love your content. I appreciate that. Have I watched Community? I have not seen Community. I know of Community. I've seen some out of context scenes. Donald Glover, right? Childish Gambino's in that. Chevy Chase infamously kicked off the show, right? And then Joel McHale, who else? Allison Brie, is that her name? It's got a pretty good cast. I've heard it's a very funny show. Dry humor, kind of like The Office or a Parks and Rec, but I have never actually seen it. But no, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you guys for the support early on. Snipers' thoughts on Hudson Thames. Thoughts on the comments he made about your friendly Rhode. I honestly don't even know what you're referring to. I genuinely don't. What is your favorite 4K disc in your collection? I will say that even though the movie is not my favorite on a rewatch, the Joker 4K is clean, but I also have to shout out Gladiator and Alien. Those 2 movies, they're both Ridley Scott films, Gladiator and Alien. When I rewatched them last year on 4K, they were popping. They were popping for real. Again, Super Chat guarantees I get to your question, comment, concerns. Huge way to help support the channel. Have you seen the Cobra Kai Part 3 early? I have not, but I'm going to say it. There's 65 people live in here. I have in my possession the final 5 episodes. I have not watched them. I just wanted to say that. I don't know if now you know. The cat's out of the bag. I have in my possession the final 5 episodes of Cobra Kai. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. No, I haven't watched them yet. I want it to be like the timing is right. It doesn't come out till February 13th. I wouldn't be able to talk about it until then anyway. And so if I wait till closer, I feel like it's smarter all around. But I plan to watch it soon, and it's going to be bittersweet for sure. Benjamin, how you doing? Welcome. Maya, what's up? What shows you currently watching? Touched on this earlier, but Invincible. Season 2 is what I'm on right now. I had seen season 1 about a month or so after it dropped back in 2021, watched it all, really dug it. And then I just fell off with it. And it's one of those instances where I'm like, oh, well, I fell off with the show, so I guess I didn't like it all that much. And that's just BS. The show rocks. It's just one of those things that fell between the cracks, and I lost it for a few years. And now I've kind of come back to it. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I've rediscovered it. The Adam Eve special was solid, and season 2, not as strong as season 1 so far, but they're playing around with the multiverse now, and so that can go one of two ways. We've seen that with Marvel. There are moments where it works, moments where it doesn't, but they are subverting expectations, especially with like the opening scene of season 2. I was jarred. I kind of, whoa, I was like, what? It was one of those moments, but I'm in, and I'm gonna finish that out this week, and then season 3 drops. The first couple episodes drop next week, so I'll probably review that. It just depends, honestly. Some behind the scenes things I'm trying to work out, but I'll either wait and review it all at the end or review like the first 3 episodes, like I did with The Boys. I see Kendall Roy on the thumbnail. What'd you think of Succession? Do tell me how you feel about the ending. Was it peak? So I know my buddy Ben, Meters Reviews, he had left this question, a question about what I thought about the ending of Succession in the chat. But the weird thing about StreamYard, the streaming platform I use to do these streams, is that oftentimes if you put a question in here too early before the stream starts, it'll just get erased for some reason. Don't know why. Don't ask me. Don't shoot the messenger. I loved the ending. I have not actually. It's one of those endings that I've been thinking about every day since I finished. I finished the show on Saturday. Was it Saturday? I want to say. Let me think about this. Yeah, finished the show on Saturday, and it floored me. It floored me truly. The ending, the final 25 minutes of that episode, all-time television. I'll say it. Like, I love great dramatic TV. It was the payoff of the entire show. I won't spoil it, by the way, for those who haven't seen. But the performances, specifically Jeremy Strong, there's a moment where his character has this outburst, and my God, it was tragic. Really, I watched like a full. Immediately after, I kind of marinated on it for a second, and then I immediately went to YouTube. I was like, I gotta watch a video on this, and I watched like multiple, like 20 to 30 minute long videos, like Succession ending. What does it all mean? And like all the different theories about where the characters could be headed, after the events of the show. And it was just, it was special. I would agree. Dare I say it was peak. It was peak. And the final shot is haunting, beautiful in a sense. I don't know. I had full body chills multiple times on that ep. It was elite, out of this world TV. And I get it now. Like forever, I was like, oh, Succession, winning all the awards. I hadn't seen the show. I was like, oh, here we go again. This show is not going to get a chance, but I understand why it won all those awards. It's phenomenal, truly. And it was so well paced too. It really does contend for one of the best shows I've seen in terms of pure pacing from the jump. I was in, and it takes a while with some of the great shows to really be sold. I know personally some people feel that Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad have slow starts. Well, I view those as some of the best shows of all time. Succession, I would put it on the same playing field as them, honestly. It's a show that I already have the urge to revisit again. It really is special, and I loved it. Loved the ending, so I had to throw that on the thumbnail. Ben, what's going on? We got Starcourt, the best mod in the game. How you doing? Welcome, everybody. I have not been on Letterboxd today. I haven't been on there a lot this month because I always log a movie if I watch it. So if someone's like, why aren't you on Letterboxd? If just generally speaking, I've only watched 2 movies this month. I've been watching so much TV, but I will be watching more movies in February. But I haven't seen this. What did you give like Inception, like a 2 out of 5 or something? Let's see. Well, I hope you feel better. The flu, that's no fun. Hope you feel better. Hope you feel better soon. Chris, how hyped are you for Nolan's Odyssey movie? Incredibly hyped. I would say as of right now, I don't want to like over dramatize it, but I do think right now for the foreseeable future, it might be my most anticipated movie. Now I could be forgetting something. There's so many movies and shows I scroll through and look at when I make my lists and all that, but I'm looking, we'll say through the calendar year 2027, the Odyssey's probably got to be number 1. There are some things that don't have a release date, like Tarantino's new movie. I don't think that's going to happen this decade. I've come to that realization based on some recent comments he's made. But I would say here are the movies for the foreseeable future, this year, next year, and the following year, the next 3 years that I'm the most excited for. I would say it's Nolan's The Odyssey. I would say it's The Batman Part 2. And I would say I honestly, those two are pretty clearly the top two for me. I'm very excited for Fantastic Four, for Thunderbolts, for the new PTA movie, Leo, for Mission Impossible. That's my most anticipated of this year. I'm very curious about the new Avengers films, but I'm thinking those two movies in particular are probably the ones that I'm like, those are the ones, you know? I'm doing this so I don't sneeze, by the way. So if you're like, what is he doing? It helps me when I feel a sneeze brewing and I don't feel like sneezing. But no, incredibly hyped for that movie. They just added Benny Safdie to the cast today. So I made a video, a short that I should say a couple days ago about like the cast so far. It's like, there's no telling who else he could add. Well, he already added Benny Safdie. What's to stop him from getting half the cast of Oppenheimer back together? You got Damon, you got Benny Safdie. Let's get Killian in a little role. Let's go ahead and get, dare I say, Josh Hartnett back. Let's go ahead and, you know who else we're going to throw in this film? I'm going to pull a name for you. You ready? Josh Peck. I can't even. No. Who else? There's Alden Ehrenreich. Get him in that movie. Get, oh man, what's his name? Oh my God. Bernard from the Santa Claus. David. What's his last name? Actor who plays Bernard in the Santa Claus. David Krumholtz. Get him in the Odyssey. I mean, like, just make it an Oppenheimer reunion. Why not? Let's see. Emily says, how excited are you for the Super Bowl and what team are you going for? So I would say for the majority of my life, I've always watched the Super Bowl. But I would say since 2020, frankly, since 2020, even my whole life, I'm just going to come out and admit it. I've been more of a college football guy than an NFL guy. So I look forward to the Super Bowl. It's an event. I don't really care about the outcome of the game hardly ever. I care more about a good game. And there are years in the past where I get really invested, anti Tom Brady back in the day. I really was, but I care more about the movie trailers that drop. That is what it's become, frankly. The Super Bowl I'm very excited for. I'm way more excited about the movie trailers we're going to get. And it's become more and more that's the case, I'd say, since 2020, I would say. At least 2021. Since then, I've been more concerned and care more about the trailers we're going to get. And I honestly, regarding the game itself, though, Chiefs-Eagles rematch of the Super Bowl from 2 years ago, the Chiefs are going to win. If you're a betting man, and the Chiefs are going to win. And it's inevitable. And I'm not even like mad about it. It's just, there are certain things that are inevitable in life. One of those is the Chiefs three-peating. And if you think otherwise, more power to you. I just think it might be based in delusion. And I said this last year at the start of the playoffs. I was like, the Chiefs they're going to the Super Bowl. You're just not going to stop them. And, I remember talking to my friends about it, jokingly about the NFL being rigged, because I don't actually think it is, but some things are kind of like suspect. Anyway, topic for another time, but the Chiefs are three-peating. I've never been more confident of it. I'm not a fan of either team, but if I had to say who I want to win, I'd want the Eagles to win, because the reason being, half their defense is from my favorite college football team, Georgia. Monsters on that team. You got Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Keely Ringo, obviously Jalen Carter, and they're the Philly Dogs. That's kind of what a lot of Georgia fans call them, the Philly Dogs. And then you got Saquon's cool story. I'm rooting for the Eagles to win. I don't really care who wins, and to be frank, I will be way more concerned about the movie trailers dropping than the actual game, because I don't have a dog in the fight. So that's really it. And I'm rooting for the Eagles, but I think it's inevitable the Chiefs will win, so I won't be surprised when it probably happens. Let's see, let me find my spot in the chat. And I see we got another super chat. Thank you so much. My nose is itchy. Hold on. All right, I was somewhere back here. I was here. Cool. All right, we got a super chat from Gaming896. Thank you for the super chat. Was wondering if you're coming back to Megacon. Unfortunately, I will not be at Megacon this year. I know that it's next week, right? Let me do some math in my head. Yeah, Megacon is next week. I think a week from tomorrow is technically the first day. Very cool. Yeah, I won't be down there this year, unfortunately. Simply put, it's just I couldn't swing it this year. Honestly, conventions can get real expensive, and a lot of the people I would want to meet, I've already met the Stranger Things cast, all the ones that have been announced, I already met them recently. Now, there are a lot of Cobra Kai cast members going that I haven't met that I would have loved to, specifically Tanner Buchanan, who plays Robbie, Mary Mauser, who plays Sam LaRusso, and Yuji, who plays Shozen. Those would have been great additions to the collection, because I can't move my computer to show you because it would probably jostle some cord loose and mess up the audio, but I do want to add those 3 to the autograph collection. But yeah, I'm not going to Megacon this year. I wish I was. Though. All right. If I lived in Florida, I would consider going. But even then, yeah, it's about a 7-hour drive from where I live, which is not bad. But then you go, oh, well, there's hotels and gas and food and cons themselves. Kind of gets all expensive, honestly. And there's no like panels. Last year, I was on a panel with Sean Chandler too, actually. And none of those guys are going this year, so that also definitely influenced that as well. I was like, well, that makes the decision a bit easier. I was like pro-conning the thing. And I was like, well, a bunch of fellow creators who I've done stuff with the con last year, they aren't going. And so it kind of made the decision a bit easier for me. Delicious Dr. Pepper Zero, by the way. It's hitting. Do I think Stranger Things Season 5 is going to break all Netflix records? I think it's going to top Season 4. So in a sense, yeah, that would break records, right? I'm at the point where I don't even know what Netflix's metrics mean anymore, because they change them up pretty often. They're like, oh, hours viewed or just views in general. We don't really know. It's not like the box office where it's like, this movie made this much money worldwide. Here was its budget. Here's how much profit it made. It's not that cut and dry with a streaming show or movie. And I feel like it's this gray area with a lot of uncertainty. So I don't even really know what to expect, but I do imagine it will put up more views than Season 4. That's my guess. I don't know what that means in terms of the records or like the all-time standings for Netflix viewership. I don't know if Netflix really knows, to be honest with you, but I do think it will break some records. Am I going to watch The Substance? Potentially. I do have a small list of Oscar-nominated films I want to watch before the Oscars, which are at the beginning of March. The Substance is on that list. A Complete Unknown is on that list. Amelia Perez is on that list, kind of just for the joke of it all at this point. And then I think there's a couple more on there, but we'll see if I end up getting around to that or not. I'm so focused on television right now. I've almost shifted my brain wiring in the month of January to just be so focused on TV. But that's nothing new. And again, if you guys have subscribed to the channel for a while, I kind of take watching a bunch of movies off. I take off January for watching a ton of movies. I usually shift my focus to TV or rewatching movies. So yeah, I haven't watched many movies this month. Do I think Julie will be in Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3? I always get asked this. Let me double check something real quick. Julie, Karate Kid. Julie Pierce, right? And that is Hilary Swank. I just wanted to confirm. That's the only Karate Kid movie I haven't seen. The next Karate Kid. I don't know. At this point, I feel like no. Because Sakai Taikai, like the majority of Sakai Taikai is kind of already gone down. And so I feel like she would have been in one of those last 5 episodes from Part 2. So I would say no, if I had to guess, no. Thoughts on MI, The Final Reckoning? It's my most anticipated film of the year. I'm sold. I don't even need to see another trailer. Now they're going to drop one and they're going to, really amp up the marketing specifically for the practical stunts, because that's like the big selling point of the franchise. But to me, I'm good. I don't need any more marketing. I'm sold. I need it. And we're only a couple months away. I will be rewatching those movies before the final one. Alex says, which is better in your opinion if you've seen the shows? I've seen both shows. Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad? Delicious. I would say, here's my honest answer. As an entire body of work, I think Better Call Saul is the better show, but I think the highs in Breaking Bad are higher than the highs in Better Call Saul. That's my answer. I look at the Breaking Bad, seasons 3 and 4 are just incredible TV, and season 3 I like a lot, and I'm a big fan of seasons 1 and 2, but to me, Better Call Saul, this is also kind of a hot take from what I've seen. I think Better Call Saul starts stronger. A lot of that probably does correlate to the fact that we already know this character from Breaking Bad. Whereas with Breaking Bad, we're getting to know new characters, essentially. So I think both shows are all-time stuff, really. They're both of my probably top 10 best TV shows I've ever seen. They're both up there. And honestly, I'd have to really sit down and look at that list for like my top 10 personal favorite shows, factoring in rewatchability, factoring in genre. They're both arguably in the top 5, arguably, for favorite shows. So it's tough, but I do think over the years, I've kind of come to the opinion that the Better Call Saul is the better of the two. Hey, dude, I was wondering what day the 2025 Netflix preview vid will come out. So I honestly don't know, but I know that last year, we can look this up together right now. This will be a fun little experiment for us. So next on Netflix, I remember even, you can go back on my channel a couple years ago, I reacted to one of them. So next on Netflix, last year, we got a preview on February 1st, 2024. That showed a teaser for like Back in Action. And then it's like in 2024, get ready. It shows like clips of the new Bridgerton season, new shows and movies. And at the very end, it's like the next chapter of Squid Game. And it showed the first like real footage from Squid Game season 2. So I imagine we're going to get something like that for, look, here we go. Ready? Save the dates, 2023 films preview. This was on January 18th, 2023. It was a 2-minute, 38-second thing that teased a bunch of shows and movies that were coming to Netflix. So this is something they drop annually. Now, I don't know when it's going to drop, but if I had to guess, I would say Friday, January 31st, or Saturday, February 1st. I think that would be appropriate for them to do a next on Netflix thing. And I imagine we could get 5 to 10 seconds of footage for Stranger Things there, because they have it all filmed, obviously. So they could just put together, a shot or two. Honestly, that shot from the behind the scenes teaser where 11, like it's the final shot of the behind the scenes teaser where 11 is like going like this to the camera. It looks like they're in the upside down. She's wearing like a bandana, I want to say, and like red shorts and like a gray hoodie or something like that. I think that it'll probably be that shot, and we'll just see it in motion, like actual what it's going to look like on Netflix, not just from the behind the scenes view. It'll be polished. So I imagine that's what we'll see. But who's to say, really? Who's to say? All right, let's see. Keeping to the chat here. Let's see. What trailers do you think will drop during the Super Bowl? So I made a short about this, and honestly, I'm like 100% all in on us getting a Fantastic Four trailer. I feel like it's time. It's the only MCU movie this year that doesn't have a trailer yet for some reason. I would put money on it that we're getting a Fantastic Four trailer. I would also be pretty confident in saying we're getting new footage from Superman. Excuse me. I don't know if we're going to get like a full-on trailer because they did just drop the teaser not too long ago, but I would imagine we'll get some sort of spot. You guys saw the Superman thing that dropped the other day where it somehow broke the internet and went super controversial of him flying, for like 2 seconds. That we could get like something along the lines of that for the Super Bowl. I would put money on it that we'll get a Jurassic trailer, because if you look back at 2022, we got a Jurassic World Dominion trailer. Now with that specifically, I would like to imagine they'll drop the trailer during the week, because a lot of these movies have started to drop their big trailer like the week of the Super Bowl. And then when the Super Bowl rolls around, they just play a 30-second spot that's like full trailer online now. That way, honestly, they don't have to spend as much money on blocking off like an ad for the Super Bowl. So that's probably what Jurassic will do. And then I would imagine Disney might get in with Lilo and Stitch. I feel like that's probably the appropriate time to market that movie. Maybe a couple other movies could get marketed there, but oftentimes Super Bowl trailers are for movies that come out in like May to July, and it's like a first trailer, a first look. So Jurassic and Fantastic Four are the two that I'm the most confident in. Delicious. Can't wait for Megacon. First time meeting Joseph Quinn anymore. Well, that should be fun. I hope you have a great time. And Joseph Quinn, you won't probably get to meet him for long. I'm going to give you that heads up. It'll be like really quick, whether that's an autograph or photo op. The Joseph Quinn line's insane. So they're going to zoom you through. But honestly, just have like something ready to say, like real quick, so that you can actually speak to him. Like if it's an autograph, for example, in 2023, when we met him, I was like, I can't wait for Gladiator 2. Like I got to just say that. So have like something ready. And even if it's, about Fantastic Four, Stranger Things, whatever it is, That way you can actually get to speak to them. Are you and Cam going to watch the Grammys? I don't know. Is that this weekend? I'll have to look into that. Okay. What's going on? Elijah, how you doing? Dr. Pepper break? Cheers to that. Quite delicious. Any plans to see The Brutalist? Okay, so I don't have that one on my watch list for the Oscars, but there are other films on that list. The Brutalist's runtime has scared me away. I'm not saying I'll never watch the movie. I'm not saying I've never watched long movies. Trust me, I have. But I don't think I'll see that one in theaters. It's just not on my radar right now. We'll see though. I'm never gonna say never fully, I guess. By the way, if you guys are in here, we got 74 people in here. Hit that like button. Helps out quite a bit. Just do it. Boom. There you go. And super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, comment, or concern. Have I seen Wolfman yet? I have not seen it yet. I had tickets, and it ended up kind of falling through, honestly. 3 out of 5 for Inception. What? Are you clowning me? That is a hot take. Yeah. Wow. That's a shocker for me. I didn't expect that. That's my favorite Nolan movie. I love that movie. That's crazy to me, but I know everyone has different tastes. Wow. Damn. The cast is great. I'm also super excited for the score of The Odyssey. Yes. Is Ludwig Göransson set in stone to compose the film? That, to me, is the key. I know that people love Hans Zimmer. Trust me. I love Hans Zimmer as well. But that ship has sailed. And I'm not saying, I don't want to hear Hans Zimmer scores anymore. Trust me. I love Hans. Love him. But I'm specifically talking about Nolan. I feel like with Nolan lately, he's found his new guy, his new right-hand man. Tenet and Oppenheimer are probably my two, like I would say they're up there for my favorite. Like Oppenheimer is my favorite movie score and favorite Nolan score. Tenet, it might even inch out like an Interstellar at times. Like that's how competitive it is. So of, his best scores, 2 are Ludwig and the rest are Hans Zimmer to me. So let's get this new era, this new blood in here. So I'm ready. I'm very pumped for that score. It could go down as just, I expect, and maybe that's on me, but honestly, that is the expectation. Like at this point, is that a Nolan film will have one hell of a score. All right. All right, looking through the chat here. Would I like to see a Deadpool and Spider-Man movie? I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I do think it might not be possible. Would it be Tom Holland and would it be Ryan Reynolds is the question. I don't know if it would work, honestly. Because if you have Spider-Man in a movie, could you do the R-rated thing? That's what I've always asked when it comes to Deadpool. If you bring him to the MCU, it's got to be rated R. That was my thing forever, and they did, and it was rated R, and it worked because he was paired with Wolverine. Deadpool and Spider-Man, I think conceptually is fun, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, it might be difficult to pull off, especially with the whole rights behind the scene. I would watch it. I would love to see that, but I don't think it's ever going to happen just because they would have to make the movie PG-13 probably because they wouldn't want Spider-Man in an R-rated film. At least I don't think they would. So that could be a hard sell. Could be a real hard sell. Shoot, let's see. All right. Hey, Chris, I hope you're doing good. In Stranger Things 5, how powerful do you think 11 will be, and what do you think her potential could be? I think she'll probably be at her most powerful by the end of the season, and I to answer the back half of this question, her potential, yeah, I think she'll reach her highest potential, and it could ultimately lead to her demise. All right, that's kind of where I'm at right now with 11. That's my speculation surrounding her as a character. Shoot, let's see. Looking for a fresh question. There's some repeat ones. Again, I will get to as many questions as I can, but super chat's the way to go to guarantee I can get right to your question, comment, or concern. It's also a huge way to help support the channel. Anything goes a very long way. And hit that like button if you guys are in here. Helps out quite a bit. Do it. Do it. Yes, you know me too well. The Philly Dogs. The Philly Dogs. Come on now. Let's see. Yes, you already know Dr. Pepper Zero. Quite delicious. So I referenced earlier, I haven't seen Emilia Perez yet. I intend to maybe watch that before the the Oscars, but we'll see. Someone says Vecna versus Pennywise. Pennywise is quite possibly, when you think about it, the least threatening horror icon ever. If you've seen It Chapter 2, you'll know why I say that. If we're talking about that same Pennywise from that film, I think most people, a group of kids beat Pennywise that were grown up, I guess, technically, but like just a group of normal humans beat Pennywise. So I'd say Vecna, no brainer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Will I watch The Wild Rose for the Oscars? That is one of the movies that's on the list. Thank you for reminding me. Not guaranteeing I get to it, but it is on that little Oscar list to watch before that movie comes out. Art the Clown or Michael Myers? Which do you prefer? I honestly have never seen the Terrifier films. I'm not huge on Halloween, which is no surprise, but I would say Michael Myers. I think undeniably Michael Myers is a horror icon. The mask alone, it's instantly recognizable. Oh, that's Michael Myers from Halloween. Even if you've never seen the movies, you just know of it from Spirit Halloween or just Halloween costumes in general. So yeah, I would say Michael Myers. What is my Super Bowl prediction? Chiefs by 3 to 7 points. It'll be a 1-possession game and the Chiefs will win like they always have done this year. Hey, Chris, have you watched The Night Agent on Netflix? I have not. I've seen interview clips from this on with the main actor whose name's escaping me, but I haven't watched The Night Agent. I also know that there's a new season of The Recruit coming out, another Netflix original show. I have not watched either show. They are shows that aren't as high on my watch list. I'm really trying to prioritize shows that are iconic and really beloved out there that I haven't seen. And those two shows are relatively new. I'm not saying I'll never watch them, but I do know that a new season of The Night Agent is out now. Will I watch Arcane? So the thing about Arcane is I've actually seen the first 4 or 5 episodes, and then I just fell off with it. That happens with shows sometimes. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I'd like to imagine everyone in the stream, everyone watching, everyone in the world has started a show. Be like, yeah, I like this. And then you just stop watching for whatever reason. You missed a few days of watching, you were in a rhythm, and then you fall out of that rhythm. And so you just don't ever pick back up with the show. That's kind of how I feel about Arcane. It wasn't like I loved Arcane. I was interested, but I just kind of stopped watching it. I was doing reactions also, which kind of played into that. Excuse me. But yeah, I have no desire to get to that one immediately. I know it's only 2 seasons. That's appealing, honestly. But regarding my next show, it is currently Invincible. But after that, I'm leaning Peaky Blinders. It won the polls. People said you got to watch it. It's 36 episodes. All of that appeals to me. All of that does. It's a show I could get through in a month or 3 weeks, we'll call it. I feel like that's the answer. The other shows on that list, Dexter, there's controversy around the season. Apparently it doesn't stick to landing, and apparently there's a big fall off. Sopranos is just a real high episode count, a bit of a slower start. So I'm leaning Peaky Blinders. Also, I think there's a Peaky Blinders movie coming out this year with Barry Keoghan, with Killian coming back, the same director as the show, I want to say, and then Barry Keoghan's in it. So we shall see. Shoot. All right. Dr. Pepper Zero break. You got to watch Mr. Robot. It's my favorite show of all time. I've heard a lot of good things. I think Rami Malek won an Emmy for one of the seasons, but I have not watched that. There's so many shows out there. That's what I found. You can get through more movies because movies are 2 hours, 3 hours tops. But when it comes to shows, it's a real time commitment. And so it's harder to sell me on a show because you're investing so many more hours of your life in it. That's why I finally watched Succession. But that's the thing. Like, I got to really be sold on some of these shows because it's 100 hours. Think about it. Like, if a show's 100 episodes, hour an ep, it's 100 hours. You could watch 50 movies in the same amount of time. That's crazy. It really is. Oh, wow. Let's see. Currently watching How I Met Your Mother. Honestly, a banger. Comfort show to me. Haven't been here in a hot minute. Well, welcome back. It's good to see you here. What are your thoughts on year 1 of the 12-team playoff? My thoughts on year 1 of the 12-team playoff are, I don't want to go too far down the trail here because I know a lot of guys honestly don't care. But I'm gonna give you a 1 minute. We'll set a minute timer. Here we go. Minute-long timer. My thoughts on year one of the format. Here we go. You ready? It wasn't the worst thing that could have happened to the sport, but I definitely think there are lots of glaring issues, specifically with how the seeding works. Boise State having a first-round bye is disgraceful. Let's be honest here. I am not a fan at all of how drawn out the postseason feels. To me, they need to restructure all of college football and make it so that the season starts maybe mid-August, we'll call it, and somehow wraps up right around New Year's, because dragging it out to January 20th loses interest in the general public. At that point, the casual college football fans who are more so into the NFL have fully shifted gears into the NFL postseason. There's less eyes on it. There's less attention. And what it really does is all these people wanted a 12 team because it was going to give more teams a chance. You could have a Cinderella story. Well, in reality, what it's going to do is it's going to give the Blue Bloods or the perennial powerhouses as of late, you know, the Clemsons, the Georgias, the Bamas, the Ohio States of the world. I'm almost out of time. We're going to go about 30 more seconds. It's going to give them a chance to limp through a season, go 10-2, maybe even lose the conference title, backdoor into a 12 team, get healthy, get hot at the right time, and win a title as a 7 seed, as a 9 seed. So I don't think that there's a cut and dry, here's the solution to fix college football, but I mean, Ohio State won the Natty. Congrats to them, but they wouldn't have made it in a 4 team, which was the format forever. And so, and people are probably mad, really, that, you know, oh no, another blue blood one. Well, a blue blood's probably going to win forever at this point. I will be shocked if a team that's not, well, let's not say the term blue blood. There's only a select few of those, but like if one of the biggest brands doesn't win, it will be shocking. Look at, I mean, it's been that way though. It's been that way though. So, you know, it's all opens the door to another conversation about the sport maybe being ruined a bit. I'm kind of souring a bit on it. I'm always going to love Georgia. I'm always going to love college football, but I mean, it's not crazy. If someone's like, hey, 10 years from now, Chris, I went to the future and you don't care about college football anymore. I'm gonna be like, well, why? And you'll say, oh, because it was ruined by greedy bastards who just want more money. I'm like, yeah, I see it then, you know, it's just the NFL now. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I still love Georgia. I'll be hyped for next season, but this season was eye-opening for me. It's just eye-opening would be the word I used. So yeah. Okay, moving on in the chat. Let's see. Lucy says, do you think Stranger Things Season 5 would be better if it was in volumes? I think it could be better because then we would have a chance to theorize and all that. So I made a video about this yesterday, I want to say. So go check it out if you haven't already. But I kind of pros and cons of the whole thing, right? I made a list of what would be beneficial if the season dropped all the episodes at once and what would be, you know, the issues associated with that. Did the same thing for the reverse of if they went the volumes route where we got 4 eps, took a month off, and then we got 4 more eps. I personally cast my vote for dropping all the episodes at once. That's the way that, you know, Netflix started with dropping their shows. That's how they dropped the first couple seasons of Stranger Things. And so to me, I would just prefer to go that route. But at the same time, I did enjoy the month off between season 4, Vol 1 and Vol 2. And it was fun. It was a real fun month and it flew by. And it gave people the opportunity to get even more excited. So whatever they do, I'm on board with. I just want to know. And I don't know when that will be that we find out, but it has to be by like May, right? You would have to think. They would tell us by sometime in the summer. Like, we got to know at some point. But, you know, volumes could be better in the long run. It's just difficult to say. It's hard to say. The thing about volumes is people could watch the first volume and be like, that's it. That's the season. They just won't pay attention to the fact that it's part 1. And they'll be like, well, that stunk. It didn't complete anything. Well, you got to watch the final half of the season, buddy. Like, that's like, there were people when Cobra Kai season 6 part 1 dropped who thought that was it. What? Or what are we doing here? You know, just have a little common sense. Have a little bit of common sense. Let's see. All right. Scrolling through Dr. Pepper break. I see another one. Delicious. Did you catch Joe Keery on Jimmy Fallon last night? I watched the clip this morning on YouTube. I was up until 2 a.m. last night because I watched all 10 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I had the screeners, and I watched them all, and then I filmed, edited, and scheduled a review, and it took a while. I sort of yapped for a really long time, like almost 30 minutes of yapping about the show, and I had to chop it down. I was yapping, and so I had to edit it up, and then the upload process can take a while sometimes, making a thumbnail, all that jazz. And by the time I got the video scheduled, it was like 1:15, and then I just couldn't get my brain to calm down, and so I was up late last night. But I didn't watch it live. I watched it this morning on YouTube. Joe Keery's the man. Joe Keery is the man. How do you do, or excuse me, how good do you think that Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four will be compared to Deadpool and Wolverine? I would be willing to bet that none of the 3 MCU movies this year will outgross Deadpool and Wolverine. That movie did, what, 1.33 bill, I want to say? Somewhere in that ballpark. The highest grossing MCU movie this year, I think, does like 1 bill even. And it could be Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four could also do 800 to 900 mil. Brave New World, if I'm going to rank the 3, I think by comparison, I mean, none of them are going to make as much. So, you know, I don't think that's a fair comp, though. I really don't. That's like comparing anything that came out, you know, to No Way Home or Infinity War Endgame. It's not going to make as much. Like Wakanda Forever and Guardians 3, I think both were around 840 to 850 mil. And do we view those movies as failures because they didn't make $1 billion? I don't think we do. They made their money back. They were hits. Wakanda, Multiverse of Madness did like 960 million, I want to say. I think Thor: Love and Thunder almost did $1 billion. It did like 900, 800 million. All those movies made their money back, even though they had big budgets. And so that's the narrative too, is a lot of times if a movie doesn't do $1 billion, it's a failure, which is a weird thing. It kind of came up when 2019 happened, and like every Disney movie, like 8 Disney movies did $1 billion that year or something. I'm dumb. You had, let's do it. 2019, you had Captain Marvel did $1 billion. The Aladdin remake did $1 billion. The Lion King did $1 billion. So yeah, Endgame, Captain Marvel, Lion King, Aladdin, Frozen 2, Rise of Skywalker. That's 8. That's 6 movies right there. I think there were maybe even 1 or 2 more that might have done $1 billion. So 2019 kind of shifted our perception of a $1 billion film, made it seem so easy. And then the pandemic hit, and then No Way Home did $1 billion, and then Deadpool and Wolverine did $1 billion. Well, a lot of MCU movies that are very successful did not make $1 billion. So to compare them all to the gross of Deadpool and Wolverine, I think is setting them up for failure. Now, again, I'll rank them by how much money I think they're going to make. I would say Fantastic Four is going to make the most. Then I would say Thunderbolts, then Captain America. But, you never know. I don't think the projections are great for Brave New World, but Captain America is in the title. It's a Valentine's Day movie. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see. If the movie stinks, I don't expect it to make a lot of money because there won't be repeat viewings. So we just have to wait it out and see. But it's going to be interesting to monitor the MCU box office this year for sure. It's always fun to keep an eye on. But we had 1 movie last year. We got 3 this year. All right. Let's see. Do I have more faith in James Gunn's DCU or the MCU right now? That's a tough question, you know. I have my concerns about both. I mean, DC off to a great start. Creature Commandos was a very well done series, 7 episodes. Superman looks pretty awesome. Supergirl, I'm hearing good things already. I like the director. I mean, there's optimism around the film is what I'm referring to, just from everyone involved. But I'll address my concern for both. My concern for DC is how much of a reset for the universe is this actually? How much of this universe is James Gunn going to say, okay, I can pick and choose what I want to soft canonize? Oh, well, this from Peacemaker, it happened the same way in this universe, but it's not the universe. It's just a weird situation, a bit. And that's not like an end-all, be-all, make or break type thing, but it's just a thought I had. That's something that could bother me. It could end up, 5 years from now, James Gunn has to put out statements explaining what is canon and what isn't. And there's not like a hard, this is the starting point of the universe. I guess it's Creature Commandos, but that show references things from Peacemaker. And then I've seen James Gunn explain it like, well, this character also died in the Suicide Squad, but they also died in this new DC universe. So it's just a little bit confusing. And then regarding the MCU, I would say my biggest concern with that franchise right now is, are they still rushing things? Do we need an Avengers team an Avengers movie this quickly? Because we don't even know who the Avengers are. And I've said that a bunch, so it's not really a new thought, and a bunch of people have said that, but there's no Avengers team right now. So how are we getting 2 Avengers movies with one of them coming out next year? The interconnectivity, it used to be, at least it used to seem more planned out with the MCU. Every project sort of had its own identity in a way, and then a post-credit scene would bleed into the next movie. Well, now it's just post-credit scenes are leading nowhere. Entire projects are kind of one and dones. Eternals, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Shang-Chi. What's going on? So the importance of projects, it's taken a hit in my opinion. I feel like everything used to be so meticulously planned out, and it all kind of flowed together wonderfully, and it all made sense, and it felt rewarding when we got to Infinity War Endgame. And now it seems like they've gotten careless in a way. And so I have concerns about both, but in terms of which one, if I had to, buy stock, I guess, in the confidence I have of the two, I think I still side with the MCU. And that kind of just boils down to prove it for DC. I'm not saying I'm a DC hater, but I do have to be proven that DC can do it before I can fully buy in. I'm still pretty optimistic about the future of Marvel, because if we're not like setting a time range on Marvel's success, like I could look ahead to post these Avengers movies. Well, we're going to get new X-Men, and there's going to be Fantastic Four. Daredevil doesn't look like he's going anywhere. We got a new Spider-Man movie coming out. Like, I still feel confident in that. And I don't know if they'll ever reach the heights of Infinity War Endgame again. I don't think that should be the expectation in terms of just emotional investment. I don't know if that's possible, but they could still give us something great in its own right. So we'll see. But long answer to the question is I have a bit more faith in the MCU right now. But no, we have some super chats. First one is from Isaiah's Everything. Thank you for the super chat. Do I think Callie and her crew will return for season 5? I know her episode in season 2 isn't good, but it would still be weird if she never came back. I've been asked this question in the past, and I've had, time to think on it over the years now. And I don't think she's going to return. I think if she was going to come back, probably would have been in season 4. I just don't know if there's room for her to return with only 8 episodes left without it feeling too out of left field. I don't think she's going to return. I also don't think it would be weird if she never came back, because has it felt weird so far? I don't think it has. She wasn't in season 3. She wasn't in season 4. Let's let it rest. She kind of served her purpose. She had that one episode with 11, and that was important for 11 as a character. The episode overall did kind of stink, but they went their separate ways and moved on. I don't think that she needs to return. She doesn't know any of the other characters, so that would be a strange dynamic. If she were just coming in to sort of add to the firepower of our heroes, that would also be a bit cheap in my opinion, because again, she could have just come back in past seasons. So yeah, I don't want her to show up. I don't want it to be like some Captain Marvel moment in Endgame where she just appears. Like she's been sidelined the whole movie and then she just appears. I don't want Callie to be sidelined the whole season and then just show up in the penultimate ep with here's my friends, we're here to kick some ass. Like I don't want that. So I think it would be arguably weirder if she did come back. But whatever they do, in the Duffers we trust. It is just it's a bit concerning if that character were to make a return. Movie in 2002 with a super chat. Dr. Pepper Zero break for that one. Thank you. Chris, when do you think we'll get our first look at Wicked for good? So I want to say we got the first trailer for Wicked in April. I could be wrong there, but I think it came out in April and the movie dropped in November. I don't think we'll get anything for Wicked at the Super Bowl, but I will say we'll probably get something in April or May. I would say probably April so that they can run the trailer all summer for like May, June, July. And then we'll probably get a new trailer maybe in August or something like that. I don't really know. But I would say the first teaser trailer for Wicked for Good will drop in April. Maybe even before then, though. They could totally take advantage of the recent buzz and the Oscar nominations and drop a little tease at the Super Bowl, a 30-second thing. Why not? But if I had to bet, Wicked for Good, first official teaser trailer, mid-April. That would be my guess, just basing it off the marketing for the first movie. But who's to say? We could get it tomorrow for all we know. All right, back to the chat. And again, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for watching live or on the replay. Hit that like button. It really does help out quite a bit. And super chat is the way to go to guarantee I get your question, comment, or concern. So good. So good. Nick M. I can always rely on you with the good Keep Watch Burns. Keep Watch Burn, Creature Commandos, What If, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We just got hit with an animated superhero TV show, Keep Watch Burn, the first maybe ever. I would say as of right now, I can comfortably burn What If. I've never seen the third season. I don't know if I want to. I think one day my completionist brain will eat itself alive and I'll just cave and watch. The only MCU projects I haven't fully seen. What If? I've seen the first 2 seasons, not the third, and the back few episodes of She-Hulk. I've seen like the last 20 minutes of She-Hulk, but I haven't watched full episodes past, I think, episode 5 or 6. I don't remember. But I've seen like scenes. I just haven't fully watched the eps because I couldn't do it. It was just not my jam. Anyway, though, I would burn What If. The show really fumbled with a lot of concepts. Funnily enough, having seen all of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I won't give anything away. Trust. Don't worry. So you don't need to leave the stream. I think that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man executes like certain, not what if concepts, but like you guys have seen the first episode. It's out, the first 2. Like it parallels moments from like the main MCU timeline so well. It makes me like long for a better version of What If that actually took moments from the movies and shows and kind of just tweaked little things and made them just more interesting by like 1,000 times. I don't know. That's how I felt watching. I was like, damn, I wish that What If was actually cool. But anyway, I'll burn What If pretty comfortably. I will then go ahead. This is tough. Tough. You know what? This is brutal because I honestly dug both of these next 2 shows a bunch. And they both have 1 season. They both are getting season 2s. So based on the context of Keep Watch Burn, keeping means I'll get to see the second season. Burning means I'm really content with the one and or watching, sorry, means I'm content with the one and done. And if you want my honest opinion, I feel as though Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has built out the world more and set up more things for a second season to the point where that show could run for 10 seasons, no BS, that I think I got to keep it so that I can see the continuation of the world. Whereas with Creature Commandos, yes, they did set some things up, but I'm also like, that could be a perfect one and done. So because Creature Commandos functions so well to me as like a one and done, where we could just see those characters appear in like another movie or something in live action, maybe I'll watch it and then I'll keep Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because I want to play around in that world a bit more than the Creature Commandos one at this current moment in time. But that is, both shows I dug a lot. I just kind of had to tweak the question a bit. But no, good question. Thank you. Bryden with the super chat saying, how hard would it be for a show to pass Stranger Things? Are you asking like on my personal favorite list? Pretty damn difficult. There's a lot of reasons why. I mean, I've been a fan of Stranger Things since 2016. I feel like I've just grown up with the show in a way, and I've met a ton of amazing people, like a bunch of people through YouTube through the show. And so it just means so much to me. I think it'll probably always be my favorite show. Honestly, does that mean that it's the best show ever written, ever conceived? Maybe not. If we're going the objective route, there probably are better shows out there. You know, from a strictly like writing perspective, but that's not what everything's all about at the end of the day. I love the show. Truly. I think it's masterful. And I think it's silly that we live in a world where online specifically people have to pit things against each other. Well, you like Cobra Kai and Breaking Bad. One's a kid show and one's peak drama. Yeah, I love them both. And there's no need to, put them in a battle against each other. I think that's childish and immature. I really do. Nothing irritates me more than when I see comments that are like, oh my God, the taste. You like Stranger Things. You have it over Breaking Bad. Yeah, I do in terms of my personal favorite because it's my preference. But also, I think Breaking Bad's a 5 out of 5 show. And I think that I don't know. I see so many rankings of movie online of movies and shows where it's like it looks like someone just went to the IMDb top 250 and picked the 10 movies from that list and made them their 10. And it's like, these are my 10 favorite movies. How often are you rewatching them? I love The Godfather. 5 out of 5. Rewatched it last year, but I don't really know how many people like. Is that actually that many people's favorite movie? Favorite movie. I think a lot of times people get favorite and best mixed up. Like, that's why at the end of the year, I never make a video called, I did it one time out of like the 5 times I made the video. I do my top 10 favorite movies of the year because they're my favorite movies. You can call it best. Some people say it's the same thing, but if I were doing top 10 best, it's kind of the same thing, but they're different. They are different. So I don't know. Anyway, kind of a rant there. All right. Anyway, let's get back on track. I'm almost out of DP0, by the way. You already know. You already know. Just watched Wicked the other night. Gave it 8 out of 10. Banger movie. How would I rank the Succession season? Season 4 would be number 1. I would honestly probably rank them in reverse order of release. I'd go number 1 is I'd go 4, 3, 2, 1, and I think each season just gets better and better and better. I think that's the case with a lot of shows. Yeah, Succession just builds and builds and builds and gets better and better and better. What is the scariest season of Stranger Things? I'd say easily season 4. Season 4 has some like messed up shit. You got the whole, flashback with the Creel house and Victor Creel. Like, there's just dark, disturbing imagery with Vecna himself, with, the Chrissy death at the end of the first episode of season 4. Like, I'd say by far it's the most intense and dark season. Season 2 would probably then be my answer, and then season 3 is probably the least scary. But even then, there's some messed up, gross stuff in that season too. In the hospital, right? Anyway, I'd say season 4 is the scariest season of Stranger Things, personally. All right. Alex says, when do you think Tarantino's last film comes out, and do you think it will be his last film? I think I said this recently, don't hold me to it, but I'm kind of starting to buy into the fact that he might never make another movie. He might just end it on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which would be fitting. Which would just be fitting, Why try and top that one? Because I don't know if he's going to. It's just aged like fine wine. So many like side characters in that film who have like a scene or two or like megastars now. And so I don't know. That's kind of like the perfect movie to end his filmography on. Especially because he's kind of becoming cynical about Hollywood nowadays. So I'd say let it end there, brother. Let it end there. Why not? Do I think Stranger Things 5 could dethrone season 4? I do. I definitely do. I honestly that should be the expectation. Not to set us all up for failure, but you've had so much time. I think season 5, they've said it's the biggest season. I think it should top season 4, honestly. I think it should. That's my opinion, though. We've been going for an hour, just like that. It goes by so fast. Gavin in the chat. Hey, Chris, what is the scariest scene you've ever seen? The scariest scene I've ever seen. It's hard to pinpoint one specific scene. I would say I was really uneasy watching Insidious for the first time. There's a scene where they get the older lady, names escape me. I haven't rewatched the movies in a few years, but they're like doing I don't remember if it's an exorcism or if it was like she's paranormal investigating, and they have like lights on their face in a dark room. That was really intense. The Conjuring, both the first 2 films have some really specifically scary scenes. I'd say probably something from one of those 2 movies is probably like the most tense I've been watching a scene, but yeah, I would probably say that. But there's also moments in movies like Prisoners where it's not like paranormal scary, but it's so intense that it's like horrifying. Like when Hugh Jackman's character, I want to say, or is it Gyllenhaal? I forget. I think it's Gyllenhaal. He goes in like he's in like the crawl space of this old house, and it's like just so uneasy, unsettling. I think it's Gyllenhaal. It's Gyllenhaal or Jackman, one of the two. They're in like a basement, and it's just so icky. Brady B says, love the autograph video recently. Any plans for any cons this year? Well, thank you. I had a lot of fun with that video. It was a bit of a different one, so if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I did a movie and TV show autograph collection. You guys can find it on the channel. But I would say, as of right now, I don't have any plans for conventions. Megacon would be the big one. I had planned on going to that for a while, but I'm not going this year. After that, there's a Comic-Con in Atlanta, which is my home city. And so I'll probably go to that one in July just because it's local. I don't have to like get a hotel or anything or pay for like gas. So I would say probably Atlanta Comic-Con is the next one I'll go to. Excuse me. That honestly, though, that does depend on the guest list. Even then, I'll probably just go for a day if they don't have any good guests that I'm interested in, just to check it all out, check out the vibes. All right. Predictions. I already did it. Actually, I already answered this one, but I will say Robbie gonna win Sekai Taikai if they do fully commit to continuing it. Star Wars Order, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Will I watch You season 5? This is from Michael. I will. I have plans to watch it. It comes out April 24th, all episodes streaming. And that's the interesting thing about this. You is one of those Netflix shows where, first of all, this first season I want to say was on like CW or like Life TV or whatever the hell it's called. And then it got acquired by Netflix. So season 2 dropped on Netflix. All episodes at once. Season 3, all episodes at once. Season 4, they went the volume route with a month gap, and season 5 is returning to all episodes at once. I think Netflix is starting to realize that the business strategy that's the smartest for them always has been and always will be dropping the episodes all at once. And I kind of stand by that. So I think that we're going to see a return to that with Outer Banks, their final season next year. I want to say they're probably going to drop all at once. Season 4, there was a split. And all these shows that had started with all the ups dropping at once and then kind of got away from that with the volumes, I think they're going to return back to dropping all at once. That's why I'm so on the fence about Stranger Things. I'm like, they could go either way. I hope they drop it all at once, though, personally. Alan says, what's the best video game adaptation? I haven't played Fallout, but I'd like to imagine that's pretty damn incredible. But I will say The Last of Us, from what I've seen, in terms of, if you're asking like video game to movie or show, I'd say The Last of Us. That was really so well done. And the reason it excels is because it actually improves the game, truly. Like, characters who didn't have much depth in the game are given full episodes. And it just makes it so much better. It makes the story even more emotionally impactful, the show, in my opinion. All right. We've been going an hour and 7 minutes. We got 85 people in. Let's keep it going. Keep the questions coming. Super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, comment, concern. It's a huge way to help support the channel. And hit that like button if you guys are in here. If you just joined, hit it. Do it. If you're on the replay, hit that like button. It's a quick, easy way to support the channel. Hello, how you doing? Let's see. Ooh, I've already answered a bunch of these. Do I think Jonathan... I've seen a bunch of questions about Jonathan. I don't hate Jonathan, I don't think. I dislike him. I honestly, I've probably said I hated him in the past, if I'm being frank. I probably have said that in the past couple of years. I don't think I hate him now, but I do think he's kind of a schmuck at times. He's got his seasons that are his high seasons and his seasons. Like season 4, he's kind of a jackass, honestly. But in season 2, you kind of got to respect Jonathan. Anyway, I would say, do I think he'll get higher screen time? I think he'll have more screen time for sure. I think everyone will. I think everyone in the Cali crew from season 4 took a back seat. I even think the actors kind of know that. Like, there's an interview with Finn where he kind of was talking about, his role in season 4 from years ago. I don't remember what outlet it was for, but I remember him saying something along the lines of like, yeah, Mike didn't have a ton of screen time in season 4 or something like that. But anyway, I think that Mike will and Jonathan will have a lot more to do this season. And they'll all be together, That's the cool thing, is that everyone's going to be in Hawkins for the whole season. We haven't had a season like that. At least we're in this yeah, I mean, because even in season 3, yeah, they're in Hawkins, but it felt like everyone was still so separated for a bunch of the season. So season 1 and 2, I feel like are primarily in Hawkins for the majority of it. Season 3, still Hawkins, but I don't know. There's a whole plot line underneath Starcourt Mall, that just feels like you're in Russia, frankly. Favorite sit-down restaurant? Love the question, William. I would say, like, of the chains, right? Of the chains. So you've got, like, Chili's, Applebee's, Longhorn Steakhouse. I'm going to say Texas Roadhouse. That's a childhood fave of mine. I used to go there for, like, birthday dinners when I was a young lad. And it's still a treat for me. It's kind of a tradition now that I get some Texas Roadhouse on Oscar night. Their rolls with the cinnamon butter, get a little house salad with blue cheese. Sorry, I like blue cheese every now and then. I know I probably just lost a subscriber over it, but it's true. And then baked potato with some steak. You can't beat it. Quite good, quite good. Okay, let's see. Who's crazier, Quan from Cobra Kai or Thanos from Squid Game? Thanos from Squid Game's crazier. Quan has his normal moments. He's a bit of a hot shot with an ego, kind of bites him in the butt ultimately. But Thanos from Squid Game is like on drugs. He's like genuinely a psycho. So Thanos from Squid Game pretty comfortably. Jordan says, do you like Severance, the Apple TV show? This is one of those shows on the list. It's actually kind of higher on the list because it's only season 1 is only 8 episodes, and the second season is coming out on a weekly basis right now. So this is one of those shows that I could totally catch up on before this current season comes to an end, that is. Mario Fanatic says, will Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 likely be delayed to December 18th, 2026 due to the Odyssey, next to Ice Age 6 and Shrek 5? And Beyond the Spider-Verse releases in June of 2026 with the Mario movie sequel, like how 2023 was. Look, I think Holland's Spider-Man movie is a film that needs to come out around Christmas. And it doesn't want to it won't obviously come out this year, but it could definitely come out 2026 December. Yeah, to answer your question, I would say, or even like summer 2027. Like the movie's not filming yet, so I could see it coming out like July 2027 or winter 2026 if I were to guess where that movie would come out. Yeah, so I heard about this, Finn Wolfhard talking about the episode lengths of Stranger Things 5, and I this is no shot at Finn Wolfhard. I mean, he's a very awesome dude, but I don't really understand why people are taking this as fact, because how does Finn Wolfhard know what the length of the episodes are going to be? Finn Wolfhard's not in the editing room. Maya Hawke's on record saying that the episodes are like movies, and at the panel, the Upside Down Con that I was at, like Noah Schnapp and Caleb were like, yeah, we're making like 8 movies. So we're not getting a 40-minute episode in season 5. We're not getting a 40-minute episode. There's never been a 40-minute episode of the show, to my knowledge. 45, yeah, but like 40 minutes, that's short. I would imagine that all the episodes are an hour plus. Now, it might not be as long as season 4, and that's okay. A lot of those episodes were like an hour 18, hour 30, hour 40. But I do imagine that some of these episodes will get over 2 hours. The finale, I would imagine, is at least 2 hours long. Plus, I mean, what's the shortest going to be? The shortest episode I still see being over 50 minutes, which is long. Like that's not short. All right. Season 4 kind of almost distorted how we view Stranger Things episodes, because up through season 3, the longest episode was, I want to say, an hour and 18 minutes. Battle of Starcourt. It was like an hour 18, hour 19. Every other ep was pretty much 50 to 55 minutes, maybe even 48 minutes. So I still think we're going to get a lot of really long episodes, but it's all going to come down to how they edit the show. I mean, the Duffers, when they get down to business, they're watching the film back. That's kind of when we'll know how long the episodes are going to be. So I don't think Finn Wolfhard necessarily knows. I saw the comments, but I was like, yeah, I mean, how does he know? He might have just been throwing a number out there. He might have been, I mean, they filmed for a whole year, guys. A whole year. 40-minute episode? I doubt it. Anyway, let's see. I have not seen Nosferatu. Jake with the Keep Watch Burn. We got Interstellar, The Shining, and Goodfellas. I'm going to go ahead and burn The Shining just because I think it's the least rewatchable film of the 3. I'm going to watch Goodfellas and keep Interstellar. Got to keep that Hans Zimmer score, babe. I have not seen this. Frozen Wish Studios has thoughts on the new Sinners trailer. Actually haven't watched it. I saw some clips of it, and based on what I've seen, I don't know if I'm really fully sold on the movie. Yeah, I don't know. It might be one of those movies that I watch on streaming or something by the end of the year, but I have no desire to really see Sinners. I just don't. It's a vampire flick. There's like 2 Michael B. Jordans. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sold on it for some reason. I loved it. Yeah, I've talked about this earlier in the stream, but I've listened to Basic Being Basic a bunch. Good to see you here, Haley. Yeah, I haven't done a Patreon stream. I did a Patreon stream last week. I probably will do one next week as well. But the Patreon streams are always a fun time. They're good. They're good laid back time. We got our first look at Wicked during the Super Bowl, and then we got our first trailer in May. Interesting. Okay, might be onto something here, man. We could be getting our first look in about a week. Then I'm here for it. I want to see footage from that movie. Would I describe Quantumania as the MCU's Last Jedi? No, I don't think I would do that. Because, I mean, I don't know if Quantumania was like a divisive movie. Like, there were a lot of people who actually loved The Last Jedi. I don't know people who loved Quantumania. I don't. So I don't know what the MCU's Last Jedi would be. Maybe in the sense of like, that's the movie that... No, I would say if we're looking at this as the movie that sort of divided the fandom, or was like the tearing in half of the fandom, and the movies that followed people were more and more angry about, I'd argue Multiverse of Madness, because there are people who love that movie. I was not a fan, but that's also a movie that like it followed No Way Home, right? No Way Home kind of united the Marvel fandom. And then from December to May, then when May rolls around, we get a Doctor Strange movie. It's Multiverse of Madness. People are hyped. But the movie kind of, I wouldn't say divided the fandom, but you could argue it. And then we got Love and Thunder after that, Wakanda Forever, some TV shows in 2022 that were, so yeah, I mean, I would say maybe Multiverse of Madness could be. I don't know, though. It's hard to say. All right. Probably go for like 5 to 10 more minutes. So fire off your questions if you got any last minute ones. I'm out of DP0, which is a bummer. And super chat them in if you want to make sure I get to your question, comment, or concern before the stream ends. Again, there's no way I can ever get to every question. I feel bad. Sometimes I'll get like DMs of people being like, you didn't answer my question. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't even respond. I'm like, I can't get to everything. I try. Let's see. Santa Claus in the house. Scott, Calvin. No, what's one thing that you absolutely would not want to see in Stranger Things 5? I'm going to say it. Probably Callie returning. This is calling back to an earlier question in the stream. I think I'm good. I'm good. It's like, it's like that clip of, oh God. It reminds me of that clip of Colin Cowherd, the sports radio guy. That old clip. That's like the funniest meme now, where he's like talking about LeBron. I think it was in like 2016 or something. It was whatever year Ben Simmons came to the league, and he's like, LeBron, we're good, bro. We're good. We got Ben Simmons now. That's kind of, that's such a funny clip. That's how I am. Like I'm Callie, 08, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I would say I don't want to see her return just because I don't want it to, first of all, I mean, I trust the developers to bring her back and make it make sense and redeem that episode. But on the off chance they didn't, right? You'd be bringing back the main character from the episode that's like the stain on the series that everyone disregards and you know, acknowledges as the worst episode of Stranger Things. So please just let it rest. Let it rest. We're good. Ben the Gem says, how is it like meeting Caleb McLaughlin in real life? Didn't get to speak to him for a bunch, but he was very laid back. And a lot of times the celebrities you meet at cons they're just very chill. I haven't had like an unpleasant experience with a celebrity at a convention, but he definitely, I've realized this too after seeing his panels. Like he likes to like clown people. What I mean by that is he likes to sort of egg on people about like what could happen. Like I saw him at the panel, I think it was in Europe somewhere, and he was asked about like Lumax in the final season, and he was like, maybe we'll see more, or maybe we won't. Like he likes to kind of, mess with people a bit. And so that's when he told us, me and my girlfriend Cam, he was like, my girlfriend Cam mentioned how she likes, Lucas and Max and hopes they have like a happy ending. And he was like, I don't know if it's going to go the way you think. Like he likes to mess with fans for sure. So he's a fun guy. When will the Stranger Things trailer drop? That's the question. That's a question. A little TASM 2 reference. I would say first footage, I'm going to bet on that Netflix, next on Netflix sizzle reel, actual teaser, like official teaser trailer, not like a 30-second thing, not a date announcement video that's a minute, like a genuine teaser trailer, probably not until late summer or even, probably about 3 months from release, because a U dropped there. I mean, that wasn't even a teaser though. See, the U thing that dropped was a date announcement, and that's 3 months out. So probably like 2-ish months out. So I would say August, maybe, if they drop it in October, like rumors are saying. I agree wholeheartedly, Gavin. Breaking Bad is an awesome show, but I agree it's not the only show that exists, and I think it's kind of narrow-minded, I guess I could say, to think that way. I mean, it's a great show, but there's so many other great shows out there as well in different genres. That's a thing too when the discussions come up about what's your favorite show. Not every show is a drama or some sort of crime drama or there's comedy sitcoms out there. They're great. I think Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you could argue, is the best show ever if you wanted to. It's the longest running sitcom, I believe. Season 17 coming soon. It's hilarious. It's vastly different than watching Succession, so it's different than Stranger Things and Cobra Kai. They're all different genres. And I think that's something that gets lost in the conversation online about ranking TV shows. Rewatchability always plays a factor in my favorite movies and shows. It's a fair point, because that's honestly, for me, that is something I put a lot of value on as well, because how often am I going to want to revisit this? If something didn't elicit the emotions out of me that I feel the need to ever go back to it, do I actually like it that much? But at the same time, there are certain movies about certain subject material where, like, the movie's fantastic. Iron Claw, for example, it was like in my top 10 of 2023. I don't know if I'll watch it ever again. I don't know if I could stomach it again. It was such a brutal watch, and it was emotionally draining. Schindler's List, great film. Watched it in 2019 for the first time. I have no desire to watch it anytime soon. There's just movies like that. American History X, I watched once, probably a one and done, but it's still a very, very good movie. But, favorites, that's the whole best favorites conversation. Those are some really well-made movies. They're nowhere near my favorites, probably. Because if something's my favorite, I probably want to revisit it. Well, thank you for being here in the chat, Alex. I love your Cobra Kai reactions. I appreciate that. I was actually rewatching my Cobra Kai season 6 episode 10 video, because again, I'm going to be watching Cobra Kai the final 5 episodes soon, and so I like to, whenever new one comes out, new season, I guess I've only been doing it long enough to have done that for season 6 part 1, season 6 part 2, and now season 6 part 3. But anyway, I will go back and watch the last reaction I did just to refresh myself on like how I edited the video, if there's any like running jokes, just kind of as a quick refresher. Do I think a 14-year-old can watch Creature Commandos? It just depends. I mean, I guess, it's very violent. That's the one thing. Like, there's language, but the violence is pretty graphic at times. That's my thing. I'll check that out, Ollie. I'll check that out. I gotta check the IG DMs, but yeah, I'm down, man. I know we had discussed and we've done collabs in the past, so absolutely. When are the gaming streams coming back? Oh man, that's the question. I would love to play the Great Circle on stream if I could get that on a console, on my PlayStation, or on the PC, but we'll see. I don't know. I might have retired from Twitch, but I'm not opposed to bringing back YouTube gaming streams like this, but I'm playing a video game. Could be the move. We'll see. Top 3 songs from Wicked from Bryson. I would say Dancing Through Life would be number 1. Number 2 would probably be The Wizard and I. And number 3 would probably be... yeah, that's tough. Maybe Popular or... What Is This Feeling, actually? We'll go with that. Tough, though. I have watched the remainder of Agatha all along. And I do think the show got tremendously better as it progressed. Like I thought the show was pretty weak after 4 eps, but then it just really picked up steam. Now, it wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen, but it's a lot more watchable and feels more earned, I guess, than like something like, say, She-Hulk or A Secret Invasion, or Echo, for example. Definitely picked up steam, though, which I did not expect. Have I played the Call of Duty games? Back in the day, I used to play them a bunch with my friends, but it's been a long time. Call of Duty Black Ops was my favorite. Nuketown was awesome. What was that other map called? Like Firing Range or something like that? I don't know. I used to play like, what was that game mode called? There's a certain game mode you could put on where like you're playing the computer and there's like 300 people, like you have to like try and shoot them all or something. I don't remember what it was called. Not arcade mode, but it was something like that. Yes, sir. Texas Roadhouse is elite. A must. A must. iPhone or Android? I've always had iPhone right here. So, I guess Jimmy Eat World is playing on my phone right now for some reason. Yeah, I would say iPhone. I've always been an iPhone guy, Apple guy. Let's see. Dude, Texas Roadhouse is so good. Okay, Chris, do you think we will get something tomorrow or Friday? What's on Netflix? I would say Friday if I had to guess. Do I plan on watching the Oscars? I honestly do. I honestly do. Why so serious? Alyssa, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Watch 24 and Prison Break. I've seen the first season of 24. I'm talking over a decade ago, and I've never checked out Prison Break. Do I like David Harbour better in the MCU or DCU? I mean, I'm a Red Guardian guy. You know me. You know, I got to go Red Guardian. Keep Watch Burn, Dominion, Rise of Skywalker, Madam Web. I will keep, honestly, nuke them all, actually. Just drop a nuke. That's my answer. Burn them. Hit that list with a meteor. Are you a fan of the episode Fly from Breaking Bad? I don't get the hate for it. I wasn't crazy about it. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's probably one of my least favorite episodes of the show. I get what it's going for. It's just not really. It wasn't really my thing. I haven't seen that episode in a while, like since I first watched the show in 2018 now. But yeah, it wasn't. I don't remember it really being my thing. So. All right. Probably nearing the end of the stream here. Main Gamer says, hey, Chris, just wanted to say I watched your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man review earlier today, and I'm genuinely shocked. Definitely going to need to give it a watch now. Honestly, yeah, full truth here. I genuinely dug the hell out of the show, and I did not expect to. You can go back and watch my tier lists of, ranking comic book projects by excitement. It was always near the bottom. I was like, this is not needed. It is unnecessary. And by the end, I mean, I was invested. It won me over. There's some, I won't say, I can't say much, but I think episode 6 or 7, the end of that episode, just has like a moment that felt so Raimi trilogy to me. This is anyway. No, I loved. I won't say, yeah. I mean, I really liked it. I want to spend more time in this world. I'm ready for future seasons. So, yeah. All right. What was it like meeting Maya Hawke? She was the sweetest. I mentioned Inside Out 2 to her, but I also mentioned her character. There's her autograph right there. Boop. Robin's awesome. Underrated character. I have never seen Lost. Would I make more Stranger Things hot take videos? Maybe for season 5, but I kind of burned myself out on hot take videos. Yeah, I've seen that season 4 is going to be long, so I don't know what Finn Wolfhard was saying. Gotta love Finn Wolfhard, but 45-minute eps, dude, no shot. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm meeting Giancarlo Esposito next month. What's your favorite movie of his that I should watch before I meet him? So I don't know if you guys can see. You can't, but I have his Pop Moff Gideon autograph behind me. In terms of movies, I don't really know for Giancarlo. I always think of shows. I think of The Mandalorian. Most importantly, I think of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He plays Gustavo Fring. He's been in the Maze Runner films. He's in Abigail. He's in Do the Right Thing, the Spike Lee joint. I always think of him as a TV guy, though, truth be told. So he's in Once Upon a Time as well, I want to say. So I haven't even seen that show. I just know of it. When I think of him, I think of Breaking Bad, truthfully. All right, nearing the end of the stream here. Ollie says we miss our trip to Georgia so much. Hopefully, we can make it back one day. Yeah, man, I love this state, and I watched through most of those vlogs you did, and looked like y'all had a great time. You got to see a lot of cool stuff too, and then it was obviously great to go to the con, meet you guys there. But yeah, it's really cool. You got to see this school in person because I saw a video today of them destroying the gym. Yeah. Dark day for Stranger Things. They actually destroyed the gym. So I think soon, if not now, the front sign is going to be gone, which is frankly, it's kind of it's really disheartening, but it's also like I don't understand it. I wish I could, but it's sad for sure. Eden says, "Are you a Lord of the Rings fan? Who's your favorite character?" I do quite enjoy Lord of the Rings. My favorite character, It's kind of a toss-up between Samwise Gamgee, that is, and Aragorn. One of those two, probably. Very basic answers, but it's just like that's probably the consensus across the board for a lot of people. Yeah, check it out. I recommend the new Spidey show. I do. It's a very Saturday morning cartoon in a good way. All right. Samuel says, what's still one movie and show that people ask if you've seen that's a classic that you haven't seen? It's a good one to end the stream on. We'll end with this one. Right at an hour and a half, by the way. And then no, we have one more that I'll answer. I just saw it pop up. Excuse me. I would say a movie that I haven't seen that's a classic is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then a show I haven't seen that's is Sopranos. That's one that's on the list. So those are two big time movie and big time show that I haven't seen. That I don't know if I will watch 2001 anytime soon. But Sopranos is on the list. It's on the list. And the final question of the stream from Isaiah's Everything. Thank you for the super chats, by the way. Favorite Bully Maguire quote. Very difficult question. Very difficult question because there are so many to choose from, right? See ya, chump. You want forgiveness? Get religion. Good riddance. I just saw it pop up in the chat. I struggle to pick just one, but good riddance might have to be up there. I say that one a bunch. I don't know. Pizza time. What else? There's so many just random one-liners. Now dig on this. It's a good one. I see the chat popping off with them right now. Bully Maguire is one of a kind. He's one of a kind. And, to pick one quote, I feel like is a disservice to him. I quote him so much, so randomly throughout the day. Honestly, I would say, funnily enough, I guess we're just doing Bully Maguire, but I was thinking all of Tobey Maguire's quotes. So that's why I'm like, are there more? But no. I just quoted all the Bully Maguire ones. Pizza time is, I guess, technically not when he's Bully Maguire. Anyway, now dig on this has to be on there. I'm going to put some dirt in your eye. Great snag. I'm going to put some dirt in your eye probably has to be one. If we're going strictly Bully Maguire, Spider-Man 3. I'm going to put some dirt in your eye. That one's great. Oh my God, that one's great. We'll go with that one. But honestly, the real... There's two quotes that are actually maybe better. They're not even from Bully Maguire. Topher Grace's Venom when he's sitting in the church. He's like, God, I want you to kill Peter Parker. That's hilarious. And then you got to go to a different movie to quote my favorite quote maybe from the entire Raimi trilogy is from Norman. And I say it all the time. And I always do it like the way he says it in the movie. It's from the first movie. He's not doing it as dramatic as I do it. I just like to bring it up a notch with the energy. MJ and I, we're going to have a hell of a time. I say that all the time for no random reason or for no particular reason. Just do it randomly. Look at little Goblin Jr. You going to cry? I missed the part where that's my problem. You guys did not mess around in the chat today. You guys brought the heat in the chat today. Thank you guys. Those are all bangers. I don't even know. We'd have to make a freaking Mount Rushmore top 10 of Bully Maguire quotes. And I don't think we'd have enough then, but, oh my gosh. You get your rent when you fix this damn door. No one said that one yet. There are so many quotes from Bully Maguire that maybe I do need to make just a top 10 Bully Maguire quotes video. You guys crushed it with that. But I'm out of Dr. Pepper Zero. Went for about an hour 33. Damn fun stream. Thank you guys if you're joining here live. If you're here on the replay, if you sent a super chat, if you watched silently in the darkness. I appreciate you for being here. Real fun time. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Check out some recent videos I put out, notably a Stranger Things video about should they release season 5 in parts or all at once. I also made a video reviewing Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I should have some more content on the horizon, but I appreciate you guys if you were in here live. Again, if you're on the replay because you couldn't make it live, thank you. Just hit that like button. It helps out more than you guys know. And I'll see you guys in the next video, short stream, whatever it may be. But until then, catch you guys later.